friends, in this video I'm sharing with you my findings on tropical root vegetable. It's none other than cassava, also known as Ubi Kayu in Malaysia. Also sharing here with you my experience of how I planted and harvested cassava successfully for the first time. Sharing also my recipe for a Sri Lankan side dish for rice using cassava and pumpkin. Cassava is a calorie-rich root vegetable. It contains plenty of carbohydrates and key vitamins and minerals. Although high on carbohydrates, cassava is a rich source of resistant starch. Resistant starch remain relatively unchanged as they pass through the digestive tract. Scientists suggest this can boost a person's gut health by helping nurture beneficial gut bacteria. Resistant starch has also been studied for its ability to contribute to better metabolic health and reduce the risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes. This is due to its potential to improve blood sugar control. It also plays a role in promoting fullness and reducing appetite. Cassava is also used for making tapioca starch and flour products. It is also used as animal feed. The leaves, which are also edible when cooked, can contain up to 25% protein. Cassava is a hardy crop that is resistant to drought and does not require much fertilizer, although it is vulnerable to bacterial and viral diseases. Here is how I harvested my cassava after 10 months. Here is how I prepared my cassava harvest for cooking. The woody hard stem is first removed. Make lengthwise slits and remove both skins from the root, the outer brown thin layer and the inner thicker layer of skin. Raw cassava contains cyanide-producing compounds which are toxic. However, the peel of cassava root contains most of the cyanide-producing compounds. The inner white flesh is the edible part of the root. It is essential to peel cassava and never eat it raw. This is because raw cassava contains naturally occurring forms of cyanide, which is toxic to ingest. Also, remove all fibrous material from the core of the root as these are too fibrous to be eaten. Cassava can also absorb pollutants from the area in which it grows. Soaking and cooking cassava makes these compounds harmless. The pollutants cassava plants may take up and pass along to humans include trace metal elements, pesticides, and herbicides. Soaking cassava by submerging it in water for 24 hours before it is cooked and eaten may reduce the amount of harmful chemicals it contains. Since the harmful chemicals are found in raw cassava, it is essential to cook it thoroughly. As the topic of this video is cassava, I am so excited to share with you my recipe using pumpkin and cassava. Cassava cooked with pumpkin and coconut milk is an all-time favorite savory dish for my family. This savory dish is a typical Sri Lankan dish, eaten with rice and other vegetables during festivals. I personally find cooking pumpkin on its own as a savory dish rather too sweet. When pumpkin is cooked with cassava, its sweetness is much reduced and makes it an excellent savory dish for rice. This dish can also be eaten on its own, as the flavor combinations of these two vegetables click very well. Ingredients used for this recipe is of course cassava, and pumpkin. I have used here 300 grams each. The other ingredients include 4 or 5 green chilies split and de-seeded, garlic chopped, 1 large onion chopped, 3 cm ginger root chopped. The first step is to boil the cassava in water together with ginger, onion, garlic and chilies. Add turmeric powder and salt. Let the ingredients simmer on low heat until the cassava is half cooked. The cooking time for cassava is longer than pumpkin, hence we need to cook this first. Next, add the cubed pumpkin pieces. 1 cup thick coconut milk or any milk of your choice, and a tablespoon of curry powder. That's all the ingredients needed to make delicious cassava and pumpkin curry. This is a traditional Sri Lankan side dish for rice. Add more salt if needed. When the mixture has reached a pudding consistency, the dish is ready. Once cooled, it becomes a thick paste and not easily dropped from a spoon. Have this for lunch. Let me try. Very chewy, sweet, savory, all the flavors of pumpkin, cassava and coconut makes it a super dish. Here is how I propagated cassava using stem cuttings. Cassava is perennial and is a woody shrub. The only way I know cassava can be propagated is by stem cuttings. To make stem cuttings, choose thick stems from mature, healthy plants which have already produced tubers. Use 6 or 8 inch stem cuttings with several bud nodes along its length. Just as a trial, I tried placing some stem cuttings right side up in some water first. To my surprise, sprouts appeared at the nodes after 3 days and started to form shoots. This made me realize how easy it is to sprout and grow cassava plants. Here is how I planted the cassava cuttings on the ground on raised beds. Cassava is best planted on the ground on raised beds. This video will inspire you to grow your own cassava and make your own cassava dish. Sweet or savory? You decide. That's all, my friends. Thanks for watching, sharing and subscribing to my channel.